Hey everybody, Dr. Diane, Libido Expert here, and in this video we're going to talk about your libido, why it might be low, root causes, and beyond hormone replacement therapy. So oftentimes when we conventionally tell somebody that we have a low libido, our hormones are looked at, maybe we're put on hormone replacement therapy, and that may or may not fix the problem. So we absolutely want to consider hormones as one of the causes for low libido because estrogen and testosterone are really linked to low libido. Progesterone, not as much, but you still want progesterone levels normal from a health standpoint, from a proper menstruation standpoint, if you're still menstruating, from an anti-aging standpoint, if you are postmenopausal. Progesterone even helps estrogen and testosterone with building bones. So we want all our hormones to be, really up to speed. So hormones definitely play a role in low libido, but they're not the only reasons for low libido. So stress obviously can be a huge cause for low libido. So some of you guys probably have had this thing happen. Probably most of you guys have had this thing happen where it's like, maybe you had a date, maybe it's a date night with your partner, or maybe it's somebody new you're excited about, and you've had a really long day. And it was a stressful day. And you were so juiced up maybe in the morning, and you're feeling really sexy and ready to go. And then by the end of the day, you're like, wow, I'm just way too tired. I got to deal with the kids or the job or making dinner or whatever it is. And there's just too much stress and the libido is not active, right? So some of it can be a stress-induced low libido. That's a really important thing. And you want to consider cortisol, the stress hormone, and getting that tested. You also want to consider DHEA. Now, DHEA is a hormone made by the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are glands that sit on top of our kidneys, make a lot of different hormones. DHEA is hugely related in research to proper libido. And one of the things is that oftentimes DHEA levels are not properly analyzed. So people are told they have a normal DHEA level oftentimes when it's something like a 40, a 50, a 60, a 70. And most women feel the best when their DHEA is more like a 200 to 300, right? So oftentimes DHEA, if it is run, it's not analyzed correctly, and there could be an underlying low level of DHEA that you're not aware of. Blood sugar can cause problems. That vascular problems, so blood flow can cause problems. That's talked a lot about with men, but vasculature is huge for bringing blood and for actually dilating the correct certain tissues and constricting certain tissues within the vulva. And so it really makes a difference. Proper blood flow, proper constriction and dilation of blood vessels to really maintain healthy arousal. So you want to consider, what is your blood pressure? Do you have cholesterol or hardening of the arteries, and looking at that? Blood sugar, like I said, can play a really big role in this as well. We also want to consider overarching health. So if our nervous system is inflamed, for example, and we have things inflaming our nervous system, such as toxins, that can actually trickle down to libido. So a lot of different physical root causes, but we also want to consider mental and interrelational root causes. So safety is a huge thing for libido, especially for women. And part of this is evolutionary wise, where most women tend to have an evolutionary pull to know that we are actually a weaker gender, right? Obviously, this is a little bit, I'm making some assumptions here. This is not true for everybody, but most of the time, women are a weaker gender. And that plays into sexuality because when we are a weaker gender, there is almost like this evolutionary root type of pull to need to feel safe, right? So safety is a huge deal. It can be a big deal for men too, but it tends to be an even bigger deal for women. And I'm not just talking about physical safety, I'm talking about emotional safety. So things that can really start adding up over time, for example, are times, say, that if you have a partner and you fight with your partner and all of a sudden you feel emotionally unsafe, if that doesn't get resolved, that can actually play into your libido. And sometimes if one or two things are not resolved and they get brushed under the rug, sometimes that's not a huge deal. But the problem with not addressing things is that it can lead to things building up, and it also can lead to a pattern of not addressing things. And every time we get a notch in our safety belt taken out, we feel a little bit less safe, a little bit less safe, a little bit less safe, until it can be emotionally a lot less safe. And when we're feeling not very safe, that actually triggers our body. When we are not feeling safe, we release more adrenaline. We release more cortisol, these stress hormones, these hormones of fight and flee, right? Those are not the same hormones that are saying, get into bed and make love, right? They are very, very different hormones. We want those hormones, we want adrenaline, cortisol regulated. When those hormones are regulated, that's when we have that more evolutionary pull to intimacy. So that's a really important thing. So we want to make sure that we are really working to not push things down under the rug. Of course, communication's huge, and this is a whole nother topic that we talk about in other videos, but communication's a really big deal of how we bring things up, right? Because if we bring things up in a certain way, that can actually lead to a partner feeling attacked, and it can backfire. So we want to really watch how we're communicating. That's very, very important. We want to come back to helping ourselves feel emotionally and physically safe in a relationship. So I would encourage you to ask yourself, if you feel like your libido's low, do you feel emotionally and physically safe? Another thing that really can make a difference is connection. And not everybody has the need for connection in intimacy, but a lot of people do. So if you're somebody that feels that connection's really important to you and that you need to have an emotional connection before you engage intimately, you might ask yourself, if you have a sexual partner, if you feel connected to them. Because if you don't, that can be a huge root cause, and finding ways of reprioritizing that connection is also really big. Simple things like sleep can make a difference. Another thing that can make a huge difference is body image. So if you're feeling like, wow, you don't feel comfortable in your own body, this is where I feel like some of the porn industry has really led people astray, because it's really said that, that intimacy has to look a certain way, that climax has to look a certain way, that our bodies have to look a certain way, that our genitals have to look a certain way. And all of that is BS. Like, that is not true. That is not how we are. We're all supposed to be unique and different, and vulvas look different and bodies look different. And so we really want to start figuring out how we can begin to become comfortable in our own skin. And that can mean making health-related choices through diet, through exercise to lifestyle. But it also can mean really, really embodying feeling sexy within whatever skin you're in right now. We can still work to improve, to feel better and better from making good choices. But one of the things that I've learned, I do these pole dancing classes with women that are very scantily dressed. And one of the things that I've really noticed from a sexual appeal type of scenario is that the women that really move their bodies are the ones that actually have, say, more of this sexual appeal when they're really comfortable inside. And I can take somebody that would be somebody that you could put in a porn movie, but if they move in a way where they don't seem like they're comfortable inside, they do not look sexually embodied. They do not look like a sexual prowess. They just don't look like they're really having a good time. So part of libido is really becoming more comfortable with the skin you're in. And while you're working to continue to improve, so you feel better and better and better, so you have physical stamina to bring into the bedroom, all of those are important, but really beginning to take time to feel more and more comfortable with the skin you're in is really important for getting to the root cause and to really solving libido issues. So I hope this is helpful. Please throw your comments into the chat so I can help answer questions and I know what kind of content you guys are looking for. Again, I'm Dr. Diane. Please subscribe to this channel if it's helpful. Share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one.